where we'll read about India's regional navigation system. Why? The last atomic clock aboard the Indian Regional Navigation Satellite System, that is IRNSS, has failed. The Indian Space Research Organization ISRO actually said that in a statement, which further weakens the country's indigenous global positioning system called as NavIC. Keep this in mind. What are, first and foremost, what are these atomic clocks? So these atomic clocks, they actually provide a standard frequency rather than the time of the day. So to actually define the length of a second, the instrument is actually measured with exquisite precision the frequency of microwaves, which is actually absorbed by this cesium-133 atoms, and that basically constitutes your atomic clocks, which are actually critical to satellites to offer positional, navigational as well as timing services. So 8 satellites were originally launched between 2013 and 2018. 7 were originally placed in the orbits. The Union government has actually encouraged various Indian enterprises, including manufacturers of computers and electronic goods having some timing services, to rely on the NavIC for determining the Indian Standard Time. However, with one more satellite which has now become dysfunctional, this NavIC system or GPS system, which was indigenous in the nature, is actually now going to not function up to its optimum. So the current reference standard for many of such industries and companies is actually US Global Positioning System. ISRO said that NavIC will provide from now onwards one-way broadcast messaging services. And this one satellite which has now become dysfunctional, it actually completed its design mission life. So ISRO basically said that how these satellites were actually placed more as a kind of a fallback system in a kind of a geopolitical tension events which are taking place. So what if, let's say, USA in the future says that no, we will not provide you GPS, how you will use your Ola? And thus it was more like a kind of a fallback system. So till now 5 out of 8 satellites have already become dysfunctional. And the atomic clocks which now became dysfunctional was actually not indigenously made, rather it was imported from Switzerland based company called as Spectra Time. Coming to a few facts about your Indian Regional Navigation Satellite System IRNSS, which was developed and operated by ISRO, an independent regional navigation system, which used to provide us information about positions, navigations and timing in our country, and it was also capable, and it is capable to actually provide information up to 1500 kilometers beyond our borders. Our positioning accuracy was approximately 10 to 20 meter. However, the GPS by USA has a positioning accuracy more accurate because they have 30 satellites, so 5 to 10 meters. It also used to provide standard positioning services for civilians as well as some restricted and specific uses for military and authority. So there are currently 7 satellites, right, which were placed in the orbit, 3 in the geostationary orbit and 4 in the geosynchronous orbit.